Console app can be used as a backend for a web application. So first of all, a little bit of background. How we do this? Well, we use DiPS. DiPS is a publish-subscribe messaging system that can be used to build real-time applications and distributed systems. DiPS has clients for .NET, Ruby, and JavaScript, and it's basically just a messaging system that can be used to communicate different applications written in different languages. And since it's a publish subscribe system, you can it can be used to communicate different applications. It's something, and with that as the base, you can create or accomplish similar results than if you use something like the A project or Meteor, for instance, but it's not exclusive for that. It's just to communicate different applications. So the original idea, I mean, the sample that we are going to review today, it's the Contoso University. The Contoso University, it's a sample code. The original code, it's from Microsoft. It's called sample, a tutorial that you can download in those links. You can visit those links and you will see the tutorial and the original source code. The original code, it's the purpose of the code is to show to show the new features of MVC 5, the entity framework, and entity framework code first. But our version uses a very different libraries and tools. So we already talked about this, how you can create a console application that acts as the backend of a web application, and we use DiPS for that to connect the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with a C# console application. Each one of those publishes and subscribes to messages so it can communicate each other. What we use in the front end, it's, as I said, it's just HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. We use the following libraries: Bootstrap, Knockout.js, Require.js, jQuery, the DiPS client for JavaScript, Form Validation EO. It's a project that changed its name. It was Bootstrap Validation. We use Moment.js and _JS. For the backend, it's a more simple application. We use only the DiPS C# client, the Needle Tail Data Access. It's a micro ORM just to access the data, and the migrations library for the same the migrations part of that library. With that, we initialize the database and migrate the database if we need. It's something like the code first approach of the entity framework. So the demo, okay, I am going to quickly show you. Well, first of all, I want to show you the original Contoso University application. This is the original code from Microsoft. It's a simple application just to demonstrate some of the features. Of course, you can download the code and play with it, follow the tutorial to learn how to build an application with MVC version 5. I think that I already, okay. Because of the way how entity framework works, the first time you load the first time you connect to the database, it takes a little bit more time, but after that it's faster. So this is the application. It has a web to create, update, and retrieve students, courses, instructors, departments. It doesn't have functionality to make a relationship between students and the courses, if I remember correctly. Let me yeah, it doesn't have that functionality, but you can, I think you can, yeah, you can make a relationship between the instructor and the courses or departments. I think it's departments, yeah, and departments. So this is the application. uh, okay, so it's a normal very standard MVC application with views, controllers, etc. So that's the original concept, and this is our version of the of the of the Contoso University. So I am going to start just the application right now, and then we will talk about how it works. So first of all, I am going to launch the backend. In this case, it's a console application. Oops, I think. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for that. I need to launch the website first. Okay. Okay. I need to enter. Okay. Okay. Oops. I think that yeah. Sorry for that. Okay. Okay. I'm going to launch the website, and I am going to start the backend. Okay, so now I have the backend running, and I have my web application running. I have a similar structure: students, instructors, departments, and courses. And okay, right now I see a grid with all the students. I can see the details. I can edit this student. And I can delete it. I am going to edit right now the student. For this application, I created an autocomplete functionality for this. So for instance, I can start typing and I select the course and I click on add, and the course is added to to the list of courses that this user is subscribed to. So this is the instructor's web page, and as you can see, it's similar. This functionality is similar. We have the details, the edit functionality. I can edit here, and I can add the courses that these instructors that are related with this instructor. So in a similar way, I have the departments, the courses. I can edit these. I can create or set the relationship between the course and the department. So right now I have only these departments. I can delete. For instance, I can create a new one. I don't know. Best department. And I can have something like this, and this is autocomplete. So well, I am not going to set the instructor or the instructor in charge, and now I can delete this. And okay, so this is how the application works. I mean, this is how it works from the user's point of view, but underneath of that, this is how the application is constructed. The website is just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and the structure is similar of well, not similar, but I have a scripts folder. Inside the scripts folder, I have all my scripts that are related with some specific functionality. For instance, all the scripts related with course are these ones, and with departments and etc. I have a script for each one of the screens. For instance, if I want to see the scripts for the create page, as you can see right here, I only have HTML, and I use require.js to to initialize the JavaScript for this page, and the script for that page is this one. And as you can see, it's in this case is just we're using the DiPS library to subscribe to this message, this kind of message. And after, when this message is published by some other program component or whatever, this piece of code is fired in here in the web page. So as part of the web page initialization, we publish a message telling to the backend that I need to get the course with this ID. In this case, this is the ID for an empty or a new course. So the website is a very straightforward web application. The interesting part is in here in the backend. To make the backend works, we need to make the program inherit from the DiPS backend, and then we need to initialize the backend. What this does is to create automatically register all your controllers and all the methods that you have in there. And right here we only need to call the migrations to create the database and run any well, not create the database, to create the schema if it's not created, or if it has not been created, or run any patches that we have pending to run. And after that we only wait for the user to exit the application. But the interesting here is the controllers. In this case I have a courses, department and instructors controller with public methods that we use in this case for the create course create. In this case I am calling the courses controller the method get course. That's how is automatically registered by the DiPS client library. So the get course is this method. In this version of the framework that I use to build application with DiPS, all the parameters need to be dynamic. For now is this way, but later I am going to change the code so you can define the type that you need to receive. So we use a view model, we fill the data. In this case we pass the ID, and then we publish we publish the a message that is course return, and we use the ID as part of the name of the message that we are publishing, and then we send the payload. In this case is a course with the object that we are going to send is the model. In this case is the course view model, and what we have in here is this one. It's a view model. This is very similar to the view models that we use in MVC applications, as ASP.NET MVC applications. What we have in different from those or new is the fact that we have the needle tail view model, and the view model, and this view model inherits from view model autoload and save. In this case, what this does is that we have additional functionality that automatically populates this object and this list, and we define a relationship between the course and the departments. In this case we are telling that the department ID must be filled using this list, and the list is going to be filled from the department table. The ID is the value that we're going to select, and the name is the property that we are going to display in the UI. So that's basically how we define this attribute to tell the UI that we need to render a drop down in this case. Well, is okay, and we have a similar thing for instructor and for departments and things like that. Okay, so we can override the methods to fill the data and to save the data. In this case, we are not doing that. We are not overriding the save data, just to use the fill data methods. We have models. It's very similar to entity framework. We have our properties that represent each one of the columns in the database, and well, we have repositories to access each one of the tables. So as I said, it's very easy to understand how the application works. The interesting part is that the backend is a console application, and we use DiPS to communicate the console application with the web application, and the web application uses this approach or this pattern that publishes messages and subscribes to messages. So that's how it works. And something interesting about this is that since the console application it is very a very light application, it doesn't load a lot of libraries, it doesn't do a lot of stuff like a normal ASP.NET website or web service. It's very fast, very light, so and it responds to messages very fast, very fast, and you can play with this demo and see how it works. So that's let me quit right here. That's the demo. The website for this application is in this URL. It's also as part of in the video description, and the original source code for this application is located in here. You can download the code, change what you want to change, and see how it works. So I hope that you enjoy this video and you find interesting this new approach of building web applications, and have fun.